Hello guys, welcome to Gunitech Solutions. My name is Ethical. So in today's video I'll be showing you how to create a sign-up form. Okay, a very simple sign-up form using HTML and CSS. Okay, so let's see how this form is going to look like. Alright, so I'll jump to my browser. Yes, so this is the form that we'll be creating using HTML and CSS in this video. So you can see the form has a background image, then of course it has the logo. You can add up any logo you want to. Then you have a title, then of course the where user can sign up with username and also create password. Then there is a button that allows the user to sign up. Then if the user already has an account, he can click on this already have an account, then it will take the user to a login page. Okay, so our interest here is to design this simple form using HTML and CSS. Okay, so in order to get started, all you need to do is let's go back to our desktop. I'm going to create a folder here on the desktop. So I'll right click and select new and create folder. I'm going to name this folder project. All right, okay, now we need to bring in this folder to our IDE. In this tutorial I'll be using Sublime Text. Okay, so let's open Sublime Text. You can see I have it on my taskbar, so it's just to double click on it to open. So this is the interface of Sublime Text. Now we need to bring in the folder that we have on the desktop to the Sublime Text. So I'll click on file, then go to open folder, then quickly navigate to the desktop, select the project, that is the folder, then click on select folder. So we can cancel the other pane. No. All right, so you can see I've brought up the folder to the Sublime Text. All right, so of course the folder is empty, so we need to create our file. I'm going to just hit Ctrl S to save the first file as form.html. all right, so we navigate to the same folder. It's going to be on the desktop. Open the project, then click on save. Okay, so that is the first file. Now it's time to start coding. Okay, so I'm going to open the basic tags that is required for every web page. So and of course I'll just open the HTML tag. It's going to auto generate the basic tags for me. Then all I need to do now is to add up the title, and the title is going to be sign up form. Sign up form, sorry, all lowercase please, form. Okay, now let's jump to the body tags. Let me design the body tags. First thing here is to create a div. I'm going to create a container that is going to hold the form. Okay, so I'll just create a div tag. Now in these div tags I'm going to add up the form. We're going to create the form. We'll open the form tag. Okay, now in this form we're going to if you go back to the finished product. All right, now if you go back to the finished product, you can see this white area you're seeing is the container, is actually the container. So that is the first div that I created. We're going to give it a class container. Now after this container we have a logo. Then after the logo we now have the title of the form, then of course the input fields for the form. Okay, so I need to create a div that is going to hold this logo. Then after that we can now add up the title, then add up these input fields. So let's go back to our source code. All right, so in between the form I'm going to create a div that is going to hold the logo. So here I'll just open the img tag, of course src. I'll just type in logo, that is the name of the logo is logo. is going to be .png. I'll explain to you, shortly the reason why I'm using .png. Okay, so let's give this our container, the first div, a class. So I'm going to give it a class and I'll name it container. Then of course this div that is holding our logo, I'm going to give it a class too and I'll call it logo. As simple as that. All right, now time to add up the title of our form. So immediately after the div, we'll add up the h2 tag and I'll call this sign up. That is the title of our form. Then we need to add up the input fields, of course. So we'll open up the input tag. Now the type here, of course, if we go back to the form, what we have here is the input type, of course, is text, because it allows users to enter text. Okay, so the type, to achieve this, we're going to add up the type to be text. So the type is going to be text. Then of course the name of this field is going to be username. So this is username. Then we'll add up the placeholder. The placeholder is going to be username. Okay, so after that, I'm going to add up br tag. What br tag does is it gives a line break. Okay, so I'm adding 2 br tags. Then I'll create the input tag for the password. So I'm going to have input, then this is going to be, the type is going to be password, and of course the name, we'll give this name, we'll assign passwords to it. Then we'll add up placeholders. Placeholder is going to be create password. Yes, so placeholder is what will tell the user the kind of text to enter. So create password, I want to make that capital letter P. Then of course I'll add up the br tag. I'm going to add up the br tag here. All right, so let's save this to see what we have so far. So if I open this project folder, you can see we have a form, right? Now I need to double click on this form to see what we've developed so far. Yes, so this is how the form is looking at the moment. Now if we click to see the finished product here, you can see that we have these 2 fields, but then the button is what we need to add up. Then of course the link here. So let's add up the button before we can add up the image. So to add up the button, I'm going to create a div. Now this div is going to hold our the submit button, that is the sign up button. So I'll create an input tag here and I'll name it, the type is going to be submit, and the name is also going to be submit, and of course the value, we're going to give it value. The value is going to be sign up. Sign up is what users will see on the website or on the web page. Okay, after that we need to have a link that is at the bottom. So I'll create a br tag. Then here I'm going to create an anchor tag to add up a link. For now the link doesn't take the user to any destination, so that's the reason why I'm using @ symbol. So I'll just add up the text. I already have an account, just like a question. That's what users will see. Okay, so let's save now. I'm going to save and also refresh. This is the one we're working on. So this is how our form is looking like at the moment. Now let me add up the logo so that we'll get rid of this symbol that is there. So to add up the logo, we need to get our logo. So let me just open this to see if we have logo. I think we have logo here, so I'll just steal this and drop it in the folder. So I'm going to drop it here. Okay, so notice that the name of my logo is actually logo, and the type of this file is what? Is PNG. All right, so you need to take note of the name and also the file type. So if I go back to my source code where I added the logo, you can see in between in the image tag, the name is actually logo, then dot the type of the image that you're having. Yours might be PNG, or it might be GIF or JPEG, depending on whatever type of image you're using. So you need to add up the type here. So if I save this page now, now let's refresh to see what we have. So if I refresh this, notice that our logo has appeared. All right, so that will be it for the HTML. Now let's work on the CSS, the styling. Okay, so to work on the CSS part, I'll just hit Ctrl N to create a new file, then Ctrl S to save. Then we're going to save this file with style.css. Okay, so we're going to save this file in the same directory as, the same folder, that is our project folder. So click on save. Yeah, so that is the CSS file. Now let's link this CSS to our HTML page. Okay, we need to link them up. So I'll click on the form. In between the head tag, I need to add up a link tag. So you can see this is our link. So in between the href, that is the hyperreference, I need to type in the name of the style sheet. In this case, it's going to be style.css. So as simple as that. Whatever you saved your CSS with, you need to, assign it here. In my own case, I use style, so that is why I'm using style.css. So just hit Ctrl S to save. Now we can start styling our form. All right. So first thing first, I need to call the body tag. So the body is actually the selector. Then we need to assign properties to this selector. Okay, so first thing first, I need to change the background color. I'm going to give it a background color of gray. I'll give it a background color of gray. Now if I save, let's check to see if these are taking effect before we proceed. So let's refresh this. Okay, let's see. Yes, notice that the background color has changed, which means the CSS file was successfully linked. Okay, so I need to add up background image. Next is to add up background image. So let's check the finished product. Yeah, we need to add up this image. Okay, so let's get the image to add up. Okay, let me look for one image to use here. Let's see. I think where did I drop this image? Where did I drop this image file? Let me check thing. Okay, yes. So yes, so this is, I think this is the image. So I'll just copy this and I'll drop it in this folder. So this is the image that we'll be using. The name of the image is BG1. We can just rename it. Let me rename it to something. Let me give it background. I'll just name it background. So the name is background and the type is PNG. Okay, so let's add it up to our CSS. So I'm going to give it background image. Just select background image, then you have URL, then this is where you specify the name of the image, which in this case is background dot, then the file type, which is what, PNG. Okay, so that is the how to add up a background image. Now we need to give it background size. I'll give it background size of cover. Okay, I don't want the image to repeat, so I'll just say background repeat. I'll give it no repeat. As simple as that. Now let's save to see what we have done so far. So if I refresh this page now, okay, let's see, project background, okay, what do we have here? Let's check out background. Okay, so there's no DN, background, so we have N here. So I'll save. You need to be careful, then you refresh. Yeah, you can notice that we now have our background image. So we're done with background image. Now let's style the form itself. So go back to our CSS. Let's go back to our CSS. All right, so next thing I'll call here is the container. Remember, the first div that we created, we named it container, okay, and it's a class. So we need to call that container here. To call a class, we just use period to initialize it. So dot container. I'm going to have dot container. Then first thing is to give it a width. I'm going to give it a width of 40%. After that, we'll give it a background color of white. Then we'll give it a margin top of let's see, 20 pixels. Okay, I'm going to make these to take effect, so I will use what, important. Okay, now next thing is to give it a padding. I want to have space in between. Before I give it padding, let's save to see what we have done so far. So if I refresh this page now, notice that our container has taken those effects. It has taken those changes. So the background color is white, of course. Then it has moved a little bit from the top. Now we need to move this this container to the middle. Okay, so to move it to the middle, all we'll do is we'll just add up margin. I'm going to use margin O2. Margin O2 simply means it should centralize the whole container. So if I refresh this page now, you notice that the complete container has has been taken to the middle. All right, so next is I'm going to give it a text align to center. I want to centralize everything that is within the container. I want to centralize it. So I'll just go back to my CSS. I'll give it text align center. After that, what do I need to do? Let's add padding. I'm going to give it padding of 5%. Okay, so let's refresh our page. Yes, so you can see this is what we have so far. Gradually we'll achieve this. Okay, all right, now let's continue. All right, now let's work on the logo. To work on the logo from the HTML file, the class that we assign to the div holding the logo is logo. Okay, so we need to call this class in our CSS. So to call it is just period logo or dot logo, then open our curly brace. We're going to assign a width to it. We'll give it 50%. That is almost half of the complete width, so 50%, and we'll give it margin. It should maintain auto. Okay, now let's call, that is the container holding our logo. Now the image itself, that is the logo itself, is what we need to style down. Now to get in touch with it, we just need to call the class that is holding it, then img of course is the tag holding the logo. Okay, so we'll give it a width. The image itself, the logo is going to hold like 100 pixels. Then of course the height is going to be 100 pixels too. What it simply means is we want this image to be, the height and width to be equal. So if I refresh this now, look at what we are having. All right, now we need to make, if you look at our finished product, there is a border line, you know, on the logo. So what this is saying is the logo itself is not square, it is actually, you know, a round shape. So we need to transform it from square to, you know, a circle shape. All right, so to achieve that, we need to just give it a border radius. So border radius is going to be 50%. Then we'll give it a border. I'm going to give it a border up. I'll give it a border. Border is going to be 2 pixels solid. Let's give it green. Okay, green, I think, yeah. So let's save now to see what we have. All right, this is not it. Yeah, this is what where we are working. So you can see gradually our sign up form is coming to life. Okay, all right, now let's work on the title, which is sign up. We're going to work on this title. So the tag is actually h2 tag, so work on this. That's what we need to call. So I'll give it h2. We'll assign some properties to it. So the first thing is I want to change the font size. The font size is what I want to change. So I'll give it font size. Let's assign something like 35 pixels. Then the font family too, I'm going to change this font family. So you can assign any kind of font family to this. So you can either use Tahoma, or use sans serif. Yes, any of this. So the color, I'm going to give it a background. I'm going to give the text color, I'll give it green. Okay, so I'll hit Ctrl S to save. Let's refresh to see what we have done so far. So if I refresh this now, notice that it has taken effect. Our form is gradually coming to life. Okay, now let's work on the input tag. That is, I think that's the last. Okay, no, after input tag we'll now work on the the button. So let's call the input tag. So inputs. So for this input tag, first thing to do for this input tag is to give it padding. I'm going to give it padding of, let's say, 5 pixels. Then the color should be let's say green. That is, the text color should be green. So let's save to see the changes. So if I refresh this now, notice that the input area has increased. So if I type now, my text will come in green color. That is the effect. So let's go back to our source code. One thing I need to add up here is I noticed that if I type anything within the, if we type anything within the input, I think the font size is too small. So what we can do to this is we can increase the font size, okay, from the default to something like let's say font size we can give it something like 20 pixels. Then the font width, we can also make it bold. Font width, let's say bold. Yes. So if I save this now, let's refresh to see the effect. Notice that our input tag has increased, our input area has increased, and also if you type, our font size has also increased. Beautiful. Now the last thing to work on is the button, that is the submit button. Now let's check out this submit button. Okay, so from the finished product, this button by default, the background color is green, the text is white, but notice that when you hover on the button, the background color changes to black, and there is a little bit increase in the size of the button. Okay, so there are two styling that we need to do to this button. Now first thing first is to change the background color to green, and the text should appear white. Now to achieve that, if you go back to our HTML file, this there is a div. The button is actually in a div, right? Okay, now let's give this div that is holding our button a class so that we'll be able to call it in our CSS. So I'm going to give it a class of, let's say, button. Let's say button, for example, or submit. We can give it submit. Yes. So save. Now let's go back to our CSS to call this submit that we just added. So I'm going to give it submit. So first and first, let's change the background color to green. So I'll say background color, I'll give it green. Next is we'll change the color to white. So white. Then let's give it a padding of, let's say, 5 pixels. Okay, so if we save this now, let's refresh to see. Yeah, this is the one we're working on. Let's go. I think we have issues here. We're supposed to give I think this is where the class is supposed to be, not in the div. So I'll cut this, I'll take it to, yeah, to the input tag. So I'll save this now. Now let's refresh. Yes, so this is the exact thing we are looking for. Now notice that the background color has changed, and also the text color has been changed to white. Okay, so we still need space, I think, in the button. So I need to increase the size of the button. Let's go back to our style. So I will increase the size of this button by using width. Let's give it 120 pixels. 120 pixels. Then I'll give it a border radius of, let's see, border radius of, let's say, 2 pixels, just to round the corner a little bit. That is the function of that border radius. So if I refresh this now, yeah, I think I love what I'm seeing here. Okay, you can see our sign up form is coming to life. So one last thing to do is to work on the hover effect. If you check the finished product that we have here, notice that if I hover on it, the button increases in size, and also the background color changes to black. So we need to work on that. That's the one last thing we need to work on. So let me go back to our source code. Now to work on this hover effects, you need to just call the button, then column, then you type hover. All right, so whatever properties we assign to this is going to take effect whenever the user hovers on the button. That is what it is saying here. So first thing first, we'll change the background color from green to black. From green to black. Then the color is going to be white, that is the text color is going to be changed, transformed to white. Then the width, let's increase the width. The width from, the width we assigned here was 120, so I'm going to assign 125 to this now, 125 pixels. So font width is going to be bold. Then let's say the font size should be increased to 25 pixels. So save. Now let's see how it is. All right, so if you hover now, notice that the effect is coming up. So if we compare this is the finished product, and this is the one we just worked on. All right, so guys, that is how easy it is to design a sign up form or any kind of form using HTML and CSS. So I believe you're able to get value in this video. All I need you to do is share this video. If you're able to get any value from the video, share this video as much as you can, and also like and comment on the video. Thank you so much. Bye.